Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Now, I've got two stories, one after the other. We'll do this one first. They both involve the Greens. The first one is the little imp Patrick Harvey, who is basically saying that breaking the law is absolutely fine under certain circumstances, and is blaming his political failures on Westminster, of course, because it can't ever be his fault for being stupid. And then we have the second story, which will come after it on a different video, but it'll be straight after it, which is all about Lorna Slater and a momentous decision that she's made that will more or less guarantee the SNP get taken to court. So, two very good stories relating to the Greens. And in both of them, it's the Greens showing how absolutely dim they are. Before I get into it, do please hit the subscribe button. It really absolutely helps the channel, and like the video if you like the video. And even if you don't like the video, just press the like the video button anyway. It really helps the channel. So, without further ado, we'll have a look at this first one. Patrick Harvey, who says that just stop oil protests are absolutely fine. Disrupting people's lives, destroying infrastructure, that's all fine. Because he doesn't live anywhere where he can't get around on a bicycle because he's a tit. Here goes. So, disgraceful Patrick Harvey refuses to condemn just stop oil protests as he blames Westminster for Scotland charging point failures. Westminster's got nothing to do with the charging points in Scotland, of course. Westminster is not concerned with electrical charging points in Scotland. It's purely a devolved matter. But we'll come to that in a moment. But the first thing, of course, is that he is he's failing to condemn Just Stop Oil. Now, these people cause major problems. They slow people up. They've stopped ambulances getting through. They've undoubtedly probably cost lives. They aren't ever going to achieve what they want. This Just Stop Oil. And there he is saying they're great people. Now, I'm going to just point out that there he is with his little glasses made of oil, wearing his buttons made of oil, his buckle and strap made of oil. How did he get there today? On his bicycle. What did that involve? You know what I mean? The man's a moron. Of course he's a moron. And they haven't got any alternative, have they? Oh, let's just stop oil. Okay, let's stop oil. We agree we will stop oil if you can give us an alternative. And until you can come up with an alternative, how about we don't stop oil? Considering how much we need oil for, that doesn't involve driving cars. Anyway, Scottish Greens minuscule Patrick Harvey refused to condemn eco-protesters like Just Stop Oil, and also attempted to blame Westminster for his government's environmental failures. He was fielding questions about Rishi Sunak's net zero delays on the BBC's Sunday show. One of the reasons Rishi Sunak is cancelling the 2030 ban on cars is because the infrastructure isn't there. They just basically know in advance they can't do it. It's impossible. First of all, not only do they not have the actual chargers in place, which is a job that will take time but which can be done reasonably easy over time. Very expensively, but reasonably easy to get them all in. It's just going to take a lot longer than they thought. What they haven't bargained for, of course, was the power requirements. Now, this comes in two different forms. Number one, the sheer generating energy needed to power all the cars, which approximately comes out at 6 nuclear power stations. We currently make electricity predominantly by burning gas. It's a fossil fuel. So what he's saying is your electric cars aren't electric cars, they're gas-powered cars. They are fossil fuel-driven cars. It's just that we use the fossil fuel over here to deliver the electricity here. It's still a fossil fuel. Now, if you want to be clean and not use fossil fuels, we need to build 6 nuclear power stations. Good luck. But that's only half the problem. You see, assuming magically the magic nuclear pixies have been, and you've built your 6 nuclear power stations all around the country, you then have the other problem, which is the national grid. In order to pump that energy all over the country where it's needed, you need massive uplift to the national grid infrastructure. We're talking, let's say, 6 nuclear power stations, £500 billion. Let's say another 300 billion to upgrade the national grid to handle that amount of power pumping through everything, virtually all the time. We're getting close to £1 trillion. Think about that. Think about how much money £1 trillion is. That is a bit more than you think. It is massively more than you think. The human mind cannot comfortably encounter what that is. Think about what £1 million is. What does £1 million buy you? It buys you a very nice house, right? For most people outside of London, a £1 million house is a mansion, right? So you bought your £1 million house. Now buy 1 million of them. And that's £1 trillion. It's unbelievable amount of money. And so that is why Rishi Sunak has said, we'll not do it. We'll not do it. Patrick Harvey then says Rishi Sunak is a threat to the environment for doing it. We can't afford it. No country can afford it. The Americans couldn't afford it, and they've got the biggest economy in the world. You think Britain can afford it? We have to build 6 nuclear power stations first, then upgrade the grid. We aren't going to see electric cars on the road. He's not going to. I tell you what, banning petrol cars off the road before 2060 isn't likely to happen. And yet he's blaming Westminster for Scotland's not doing it. If the whole of Britain can't afford it, I don't think Scotland can either. And we did a video yesterday where it looked like they're going to miss their target. Now, just for putting in the chargers, not for doing the grid, not for doing the power uplift, just the chargers are going to miss their target by 12 years. This isn't Westminster's fault, Patrick. It's your fault. And as for backing Just Stop Oil, really, you're going to stop oil, are you? When you look at all the things that we need oil for. Agriculture is one. Plastics industry. And they go, oh, we don't need plastics. Tell that to people lying in hospital for whom plastics are saving their lives. There are so many things you need oil for. Go and Google it. Thousands upon thousands of... You want everyone to be on a bike. What are you making tyres out of? It ain't rubber trees, mate. The man is a moron. The man is so stupid. He should never be allowed to make decisions. Anyway, very quickly here, I'm not going to go through too deeply in this. I'm just going to go in. He accused the Scottish Tories of having a damn nerve over their criticism of the SNP's executive's failed car charging rollout. We previously told how analysis from the party suggested that at the current speed, Mr Harvey's government would only have 30,000 chargers in place, which is the minimum that they think they need, by 2042, which is 12 years after the deadline. And eco-zealots have been causing chaos up and down the country and have interrupted a number of sporting and cultural events, including the Cycling World Championships. The one thing he pushes and saying the most important thing in the world is cycling. And so they go and they interrupt Cycling World Championships in Glasgow. Because I don't know, because bikes are made of oil or something? I don't know. These people are morons. Basically, they're not just morons, they're tourists. And of course, I don't mean the word tourist. I mean the word I can't say on YouTube, which sounds very much like tourist. But it's when you do bad things. Like blowing things up. That's what they are. And they need to be on that list. Let's make them that. Let's ban them. And then let's arrest them and charge them. When they cause criminal damage, when they cause actual harm, they need to be treated as what they are. And of course, Harvey backs them. But he lacks the balls to do anything with them. He backs them from a distance. Because tiny, little, scaredy men like him don't take direct action. Deary me, Patrick, you're so out of touch with reality. It's sad. But then, you're a horrible, hate-filled little dwarf who backs the IRA. They're tourists as well. Are you a tourist? I think you are, Harvey. I think you are. Anyway, I shall round up and come up. If there's one thing politicians can't abide, it's being ridiculed. You can argue with them, you can call them names, you can tell them they're wrong. That doesn't bother them. But the moment you start ridiculing them, oh boy, they hate it, don't they? Well, of course, he's so easy to ridicule, because every time he opens his mouth, you can feel the stupid pouring out. Blaming Westminster for not having 30,000 car chargers in place when it's your government who is failing to put the money and the funding into doing it is astonishing. But then it does show a complete lack of understanding and indeed intelligence. And we've come to expect nothing less from the wee imp, have we? Never mind. Never mind. You go back and play with your Lego. Do the dot to dots. Do your colouring books. Back to your level. For the rest of us, we'll all talk like adults and let the children play. You moron. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope this video has been informative. It's certainly informed you about how stupid Patrick Harvey is. Till next time, stay safe, stay well, and stay the hell out of the way of that moron, because he is just... You don't want his stupid to infect you. Bye.